Hi RSGC members, this is Nate Stevenson, your Director of Instruction at the MST Golf Academy, back at you with February swing tip. This month we're talking about all things sequencing. So sequencing is critical to swinging on plane and matching up the club face and the path at impact. And the sequence really comes down to the order of operation. And we're talking the order of the hips, shoulders, and arms working in the takeaway, downswing, and follow through. First, we're gonna start with the hips. The hips are the engine of the golf swing. First time you ever picked up a club, I'm sure you swung it with the arms. As you started to figure out that doesn't create a whole lot of power and efficiency, I'm sure, hopefully, you've started to incorporate the hips. We're gonna make sure you're using your hips correctly. So today, we're gonna demonstrate and then execute proper hip turn on the takeaway, hip drive, and rotation on the downswing and follow through. The key here is that the hips have to lead the golf swing. So we're gonna rotate a ton with the hips on the way back. They're gonna lead the shoulders and the arms. Once they've rotated 45 degrees, those shoulders and arms will continue. Downswing, we're gonna start with a shift into a lead leg, so the hips aren't going to rotate right off the bat. After we've shifted all the way back into the lead foot, then the hips will lead in the rotation all the way into the finish where we're on a balanced right or trail foot with the belt buckle pointing towards the target. It should look something like this. The second piece of this sequencing swing tip has to do with the arms. The arms are an integral part of the golf swing, and it's important that we time them correctly. The arms are going to rotate back with the hips, as we mentioned earlier. Once the hips have fully rotated at 45 degrees, the arms and shoulders are going to continue back further. The arms are going to go back all the way to the point of end range motion, which is where that left or lead arm is still straight and the head and shoulders are staying behind the golf ball. Once you reach the top, it's critical that on the downswing, the arms drop and lead the shoulders. The shoulders have to be the last thing to come through. So the arms are going to drop down, unhinged, straight and back out into the golf ball. Both arms have to be straight with a little forward lean at impact. And then the arms are going to extend down the target line into your finish where they'll fold over your shoulders. Should look something like this. The last piece of this sequencing or order of operations tip is going to be in regards to the shoulders. So the shoulders are also an integral part of the takeaway, downswing, and follow through. They're going to be the most passive and the last piece to work through the swing. So on the takeaway, they're going to work with the hips and the arms for that initial part of the takeaway until the hips have fully rotated. Then the shoulders are going to continue back until they've reached roughly 90 degrees. That 90 degrees is really dependent upon how flexible you are and your mobility. Some ladies, more flexible players, will be able to get a little bit further. Some guys, no disregard guys, the flexibility is not quite there, you may not reach 90 degrees. From the top, the shoulders have to stay back as the arms unhinge and weight and hips start to drive towards the target. That trail shoulder, for right-handed players, right shoulder, will be the last thing to come through. That right shoulder will drop. You're gonna maintain your spine tilt, so that right shoulder and primary tilt be maintained all the way through the finish. And that shoulder and chest and shoulders will never get past the hips. So the belt buckle or the button on your skirt or pants will always be leading the buttons on your shirts. The shoulders are the most passive in the downswing and have to stay down on top of the golf ball rather than pulling over the top. Should look something like this.